Hi, do you know what sort of questions you might be asked in an accounting job interview? In this video, I share with you some of those questions and recommended answers, and I will also point you to a resource that might be of enormous help to you in your accounting career. So, let's dive right in with this first question here. What is the difference between accounts payable and accounts receivable? Well, recruiters use this accounting job interview question to find out more about the general accounting knowledge of entry-level job candidates for bookkeeping or accounting clerk openings. Your response, both verbal and non-verbal, will reveal whether you understand the accounting fundamentals which the recruiter is actually looking for from you. Make sure you have a thorough understanding and application of what the accounts payable and accounts receivable processes are. In that respect, let me mention some brief remarks about the accounts payable and the accounts receivable processes. Let's begin with looking at the key steps in the accounts payable process. In this process, there are basically 6 steps. In the first step, you raise a purchase order for the items the company or business needs to buy. The purchase orders need to be authorized by the appropriate manager. And in the second step, that purchase order is then sent to one of the preferred suppliers for the company. In the third step, you receive the goods or services and the invoice from the supplier. In step 4, you update the ledgers with the invoice from the supplier. And in step 5, you pay the supplier as per the agreed days. And finally, in step 6, you reconcile the supplier statements periodically. At TDNA Certified Accountants, we do provide practical experience on how to do all of these tasks in the accounts payable process. If you would like to get that experience, please do get in touch. Okay, let us look at the accounts receivable process next. There are 5 key steps in this process. The first step is raising a quotation or a sales order. The sales department normally does this step as well as the second step and the third step. That is, the allocation of stock or staff to the customer order and ensuring that the customer receives the goods or services. You, then as the accounts receivable clerk in step 4, will raise the invoice and send it to the customer, and also be responsible for ensuring that step 5, which is the collection of money from the customer, is done. I hope you now have a fairly good understanding of the accounts payable and the accounts receivable processes and should be able to answer any interview questions around them pretty well. If you need to get practical experience in any of those areas, please get in touch with us. We will be able to help you. The next question is about deadlines, and it is this: how do you deal with tight deadlines? Accounting jobs and projects are characterized by strict deadlines, and as an accountant, you may be working on more than one thing at any one given time. Here is what a recruiter will be looking out for in your answer to this kind of question. They will be looking out for your speed and accuracy. In some interviews, you are given to do some work. It's called a competence interview, and recruiters will be looking out to see how you work, what your speed is, and how accurate you are. Recruiters also look to see how you prioritize and focus your work. Thirdly, recruiters also look out to see what your communication and team working skills are. As an example, here is how you could answer this question. I would prioritize the most time-sensitive tasks and focus on them first, as well as those that other people depend on to move forward on the project. If I needed additional resources to remain on schedule, I would ask the appropriate department or manager. Questions around month-end process are also common in accounting job interviews. There are 3 key steps to the month-end close process, and I will share with you what they are and what tasks you are to do in each step. Here is the first key step. It's all about error corrections. And here is what you need to do at this step. You need to check the general ledger accounts for errors, mispostings, and inaccuracies and make the necessary corrections. The second key step is doing adjustments and reconciliations. And what sort of adjustments and reconciliations might this be? Financial adjustments such as interest payment adjustments, prepayments, accruals, and depreciation. We do also have control account reconciliation, reconciliation of debtors, creditors, VAT, bank, and wages accounts. There is also balance sheet reconciliations, reconciliation of assets, liabilities, equity, and reserves. Also in this second key step, you calculate the closing balances of the accounts after doing the adjustments and reconciliations. And that leads us to the third key step, which is reporting to senior management. And what sort of reports do you produce? You produce the profit and loss report statement and other various management accounting reports if necessary, such as cash flow statement, ratio analysis, or any other reports that management deems necessary to have to make decisions on growth and expansion. If you need to get practical experience in doing month-end accounting procedures, we can help you with that. Get in touch by emailing accountants@tdna.co.uk. That is accountants at T for Tango, D for Delta, A for Alpha, N for November, D for Delta, A for Alpha.co.uk. Here's the next question. Why should we hire you over someone else for this role? I have actually asked candidates this question myself when hiring staff for my firm. So, how should you respond to that question? Well, there is no straightforward answer to that sort of question. What you need to consider is your skill set together with your experience, if any, and how that helps you add value to the organization. You should also be very articulate and confident when answering these kinds of questions and give concrete examples of how you will be the perfect fit for the role. Make sure that you have done thorough research on the role and the company and be very prepared to answer any questions that may arise related to your role and your competencies for it. There is more in this book here, Accounting Job Questions and Answers, Trainee Accountant's Handbook. This is the resource I mentioned earlier on, and I believe it will be of enormous help to you in your accounting career. In this book, you'll get further guidance and answers to things like these 7 things you can do to help you get an accounting job quickly. If you're taking long at the moment to get an accounting job, you might find these very useful. You will also find information on why some people struggle to get accounting jobs and what to do about it. If you are one of those people struggling right now to get an accounting job, you might find this information very useful indeed. You'll also find information on the top 5 things to do during an interview. If you've been attending interviews lately and not being called back for jobs, check this out. You might find out why. Have you been sending CVs lately and getting no response to them? Have a look at these top 5 things you should put on your CV. They might make a difference on whether you're called for interviews or not. Well, how to get and keep an accounting job. Some people get jobs and don't go beyond the probation period. Why is that? There might be an answer here. The 7 accountant interview questions and answers that recruiters ask. If you have some job interviews lined up for you, having a look at these 7 accountant interview questions and answers might be of great help to you. All of the above and much more can be found in this book, and you can get it from Amazon. There is a paperback and a Kindle copy of this book available. To get a copy for yourself from Amazon, click here or go to amazon.co.uk or any of the Amazon sites and search for the book by the title. The title is Accounting Job Questions and Answers. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video and to listen to me. I hope you found this information useful for your needs. My name is Sterling Libbs. I am the Principal Accountant at TDNA Certified Accountants. God bless you. Speak to you soon.